Welcome to the Structural Pest Control Board meeting. We're going to roll call and establish quorum. Dave, can you do, is Susan in here? Dave, can you do that for us, please?
Sure. Darren Van Steenwick.
Present.
Dave Tamayo.
Present.
Curtis Good.
Here.
Ronna Brand.
Here.
We have 4 of our 7 members present, constituting quorum.
Excellent, thank you. If you join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent, thank you. We're going to we'll be moving on to public comment for items not on the agenda. Okay, hearing none, we will turn it over to the administrative law judge for our hearings.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are today before the structural pest control.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, can you turn your microphone?
Oh, is it? Oh, thank you. We are before the Structural Pest Control Board for the Department of Consumer Affairs to review 3 petitions today. We'll call the cases in the order that they appear on the agenda. The first case is a petition for modification or termination of probation filed by Edward Charles Munoz III. This is operator's license number 11978, branch 2, and OAH case number 2019090896. My name is Wim Van Rooyen. I'm an administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings that's been assigned to preside over this matter. Today is October 23rd, 2019, just after 1 p.m. in Sacramento, California. Will all the members of the board please identify themselves for the record, starting first with the board member on my farthest right.
Dave Tamayo.
Darren Van Steenwick. Curtis Good.
Ronna Brand.
Thank you very much, and I find that a quorum of the board is present. May I please take the appearance of the Deputy Attorney General?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Tim McDonough, Deputy Attorney General, appearing here on behalf of the people of the state of California, pursuant to Government Code Section 11522.
Thank you very much, Mr. McDonough. And then for the petitioner, Mr. Munoz, please come on forward here. You can have a seat at the table there. I'll let the record reflect that the petitioner is present and representing himself. Is that correct? You don't have an attorney here today?
Correct.
All right. And I'll just state for the record that because we ordinarily have a court reporter that records our proceedings, but because no court reporter has shown up for today due to logistical concerns, I believe we have an agreement to have these proceedings recorded by video recording. Is that acceptable to you, Mr.
Yes.
Munoz?
It is.
Okay, and to the Deputy Attorney General
Yes.
as well. All right. Thank you so much. So before this hearing, off the record, I explained the basic procedures in this matter to the petitioner. I explained that the Deputy Attorney General will proceed first to provide an orientation of the case, and after that, you will have the right, Mr. Munoz, to make a presentation under oath on your own behalf to explain why you believe the petition should be granted. You also have the right to call any witnesses on your own behalf and to present any additional documentary evidence you might have. Any of your witnesses, as well as yourself, if you testify, will be subject to questioning by the board members as well as the Deputy Attorney General. The board is particularly concerned with the rehabilitation that petitioner may have engaged in, and I'll just remind you that the board has had the benefit of reading your petition package, so it's not necessary to repeat everything that's in there. You can certainly highlight some things that you might want the board to concentrate on, but the board has reviewed the package in detail. After the hearing, the board will go into a closed session to deliberate on your petition, and you won't receive a decision today, but you will receive it in the mail at some point in the future. All right, do you understand all of those things? Okay, great. Do you have any questions at this point?
None.
All right, then I'll turn it over to the Deputy Attorney General to present the case.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I would like to first mark for identification and offer into evidence as Exhibit 1 the original petition packet with accompanying documents. Both the board members and the petitioner have been provided with a copy of the same set of this exhibit.
All right, you may approach. Thank you.
Your Your Honor, I will now present a brief explanation of the documents.
Thank you very much. You may proceed.
Great. Your Honor, initially there's an August 28, 2019 correspondence from the board regarding today's hearing to the petitioner, as well as signed confirmation from him dated September 3rd, 2019. There's a March 29, 2000 letter regarding the petition for modification, termination of probation, as well as guidelines for such petitions. And the guidelines themselves confirmed, received by Mr. Munoz. The signature's on the fourth page, and that's July 5th, 2019. There is the petition for modification, termination of probation regarding petitioner and his operator's license number OPR 11978 in branch 2, which was submitted by petitioner, and it is signed and dated July 5th, 2019. That is 7 pages. There is the August 17th, 2018 letter and decision and order in case number 2018-36 regarding the accusation against Edward Charles Munoz II and his operator's license OPR 11978, as well as against Above and Beyond Pest Control, petitioner's company that has a company registration certificate number of PR 6016. The effective date of the decision is September 16th, 2018. Also included in those documents is the stipulated settlement and disciplinary order for the accusation number 2018-36, as well as the accusation is included. The decision accepted the stipulated settlement and disciplinary order, which placed petitioner's operator's license OPR 11978, as well as company registration certificate number PR 6016 for Above and Beyond Pest Control on probation for 3 years with various terms and conditions. Those documents are 18 pages. There is a September 24th, 2019 memorandum from the board staff indicating that as of this date, the balance due for the cost recovery relating to accusation number 2018-36 is $1,000, indicating that no payments have been made. There is a November 9th, 2018 letter from the Structural Pest Control Board to petitioner regarding a payment plan for the $1,000 cost recovery. The plan indicated a plan for 25 monthly payments of $40, and this was signed by petitioner on February 19th, 2019. There is petitioner's probation quarterly reports for reporting periods of December 2018 and March 2019, which were received on June 11th, 2019, and for quarterly report for June of 2019, which was received on July 9th, 2019. Those are 6 pages. There is an April 11th, 2019 letter from the Structural Pest Control Board staff to petitioner that the Structural Pest Control Board had not received the quarterly reports that were due on December 16th, 2018 and March 16th, 2019, and that no payments had been made on the $1,000 cost recovery. There's also a May 17th, 2000 letter from the Structural Pest Control Board to the petitioner from the Structural Pest Control Board staff that they had not received the reports that were due on December 16th, 2018 and March 16th, 2019, and again that no payments had been made on the $1,000 cost recovery. There's also a July 19th, 2000 letter from the Structural Pest Control Board to petitioner indicating that they had received petitioner's June 16, 2000 quarterly report, but had not yet received any money towards the cost recovery. There is also the February 2018 quarterly probation inspection, which indicates the Structural Pest Control Board staff inspector met with petitioner and his supervisor at Folsom State Prison regarding petitioner's probation and expectations. October 18, 2019 letter to petitioners explaining that they had not received quarterly reports due on September 16, 2019, and that no payments had been made towards the cost recovery. There is also a citation number CF 2020128 that was issued against petitioner on or about September 27, 2019, which indicated that 2 IPM hours of continuing education that were completed through A and B courses on June 5, 2019 would fulfill the order of abatement related to the probation, but could not be used again towards the next renewal. The fine amount of $150 was to be paid within 30 days of the citation. I would note that that 30 days has not run yet. Your Honor, the packet also includes the license histories for petitioner's operator's license, OPR 11978, which was initially issued on February 9, 2010. There's also the license history for petitioner's company Above and Beyond Pest Control, and with company registration certificate PR 6016, which was originally issued on March 16, 2010 in Branch 2. There's the license history for petitioner's field representative license, number FR 39568, and that was issued on January 26, 2006, and ultimately canceled on February 9, 2010, due to the issuance of the Branch 2 operator's license. And, Your Honor, there is a license history for petitioner's applicator's license number, RA 23211, which was initially issued in Branch 2 and 3 on May 28, 2003, and that license was canceled on May 28, 2009, due to non-renewal. Your Honor, that's the brief explanation of the documents contained in Exhibit 1. I would ask that they be entered into evidence.
All right, I have marked that as Exhibit 1, and does petitioner have any objections to admission of Exhibit 1?
None.
All right, Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Your Honor, I'd like to now just proceed with a summary of the case.
Thank you, please proceed.
The board issued petitioner's operator's license number OPR 11978 on February 9, 2010. On January 16, 2018, accusation number 2018-36 was filed against petitioner's operator's license, OPR 11978, as well as his company registration certificate number PR 6016. Accusation number 2018-36 alleged one cause for discipline. The cause for discipline was for failure to verify completion of continuing education, violations of Business and Profession Code sections 8641, 8593, as well as California Code of Regulations, Title 16, Section 1950. The cause of discipline was based on the following. On or about June in 2015, respondents submitted a license renewal application to the board. And on or about June 12, 2015, respondent certified under penalty of perjury on the application form that he successfully completed the 16 hours of continuing education during the renewal period for July 1st, 2012 through June 30th, 2015. On or about August 1st, 2016 and February 7th, 2017, the board sent respondent written requests instructing him to provide the board with copies of his continuing education certificates within 14 days. Respondent failed to submit proof or copies of his continuing education certificates as required by the board. Respondent failed to comply with California Code of Regulations, Title 16, Section 1950, by failing to submit verification of completing continuing education courses for the renewal period of July 1st, 2012 through June 30th, 2015. as requested by the board in August of 2016 and February of 2017. As a result of a subsequent stipulation for settlement and disciplinary order, the accusation was resolved with a disciplinary order, which placed the operator's license number OPR 11978, which was issued to respondent or to petitioner, and his company registration number or certificate number PR 6016 issued to his company are revoked. However, the revocation was stayed, and respondent was placed on probation for 3 years on various terms and conditions. These terms and conditions included quarterly reports as well as paying cost recovery in the amount of $1,000, as well as the other standard conditions of probation. The effective date for the board adopted the stipulated settlement and disciplinary order as a decision in the case, and the effective date was September 16th of 2018. And we're here before you as the petitioner has filed a petition for an early termination of his probation period. Essentially, Your Honor, that is my explanation of the case summary, and I'm prepared to ask questions at the appropriate time.
Thank you very much. Mr. Munoz, now is your opportunity to present your side of the case. I'm assuming you would like to testify?
I would.
All right, so let me have you stand and raise your right hand, and I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly state under penalty of perjury that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Please have a seat. And I'll just remind you that the board has had the benefit of reviewing your package, the petition package, so there's no need to repeat anything, but you're welcome to highlight anything you'd like the board to consider with a specific focus on rehabilitation, compliance with probation, the usual things, okay? After your testimony, then we'll have questioning by the Deputy Attorney General and the board members, all right? There's no attorney to ask you questions, so you can just testify freely and tell us what you'd like us to know. Thanks.
Okay. First, let me start with thanking you for the opportunity to come in and at least plead my case. I do appreciate it. First and foremost, I don't deny at all whatsoever the accusation against me. With regard to continuing education, the continuing education hours were completed, and my ex-wife and I separated. I left the home, I left the house. It was extremely ugly. She knew that my paperwork and my files were vital to me. She refused to allow me access to them. And then I later to find out after I left the house that she had discarded all of my company files purposely, knowing that it would put me in a position where I'm at now. She knew specifically that by not allowing me to have my files and be able to send things in as requested, that it would cause me an issue. So with that said, like I said, I don't deny the accusation against me whatsoever. What I am asking respectfully is a little bit of leniency on the fine. I'm a single father of 2 kids. I work for the Department of Corrections. I am barely making ends meet right now, and paying small monthly installments, $1,000, is putting me in a position where I have to make a choice. Do I buy groceries for myself and my kids? Do I put gas in my vehicle? Or do I send the $40 payment to the board? That is the position that I'm in. That is why I've come before you today and ask, like I said, a stroke of leniency for it. The probation, as far as my license goes, I have no issues with it remaining. With me being employed with the Department of Corrections, I am under direct supervision. I'm no longer operating a company. I'm no longer in the general public. So the probation side of it, I have no problem with it staying. My supervisor doesn't like it, but he also understands that was part of the stipulated agreement that I had agreed upon. He understands that is the way it's going to be. So with the probation side, I have no problem with it staying. I am just asking for a little bit of leniency on the $1,000 fine. That's pretty cut and dry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Munoz. Did the president prefer to ask questions, the board to ask questions first, or would you like the deputy attorney general to question first?
I will have the Deputy Attorney General.
All right, then you can proceed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Munoz. Have you had any criminal convictions that the board is unaware of?
None.
And do you have any current criminal charges pending against you in this state or in any other state?
None.
All right. Essentially, you explained that you're seeking to terminate your probation after completing just 1 year. But it sounds like from your testimony, are you more seeking a modification with regards to the cost recovery that you have to pay?
I think that would be accurate. I'm seeking more so modification of the fine that was imposed on me. Like I said, the status of probation, if it remains, it remains. I accept the probation that has been handed down to me, if you will. So yes, I think maybe a modification might be more accurate rather than termination.
All right. When you resolved the accusation that was brought against you, you did so through an agreement with Deputy Attorney General on behalf of the Structural Pest Control Board, and at that time you did agree to the $1,000 cost recovery.
I did.
Okay. And then subsequently you spoke with staff at the Structural Pest Control Board, I believe it was in February, in an attempt to develop a payment plan that essentially would require you to pay $40 a month for about, 25 months, I believe?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. But at this stage, you haven't been able to make any payments at all, right?
I have not. And that is not in defiance of the fine. That is simply because I don't have it. I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. I simply just don't have it. Like I said a minute ago, every month I'm having to borrow money from parents, friends, or family just to make my ends meet. And that $40 to most people, even to myself, is not really that much of that amount of money. But when I have to make a choice, whether I send the board a $40 payment or I put fuel in my vehicle to get to them from work for the week, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer decision for me to make. It's not an easy one necessarily for me to make, but it is a decision that I have to make.
Right. And you're currently working for the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation?
Correct.
Okay. And are you is your title pest control technician?
Correct.
And my understanding from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation website, they indicate that the pay for a pest control technician has a range of $3,945 a month to $4,542 a month. Is that, would it be fair to say that you fall within that range?
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Okay, and so, and you're a full-time?
Correct.
Okay. if the board were to consider leniency regarding your request, is there any amount of money that per month that would be possible to make? $25 a month?
You know, I'd like to be able to look you in the eye and tell you truthfully that yes, I could, but I can't. And really what's sinking my ship is my amount of child support that I'm paying every month also. That is what is putting me in the red every month. Almost $600 a month is being garnished out of my monthly check. But that's another thing too. I only get paid once a month. So my paychecks, I have to stretch an entire month before I get paid again. That I believe it's $567 is what's being garnished out of my monthly paycheck. That $567 is what's not allowing me to tread water, so to speak.
And that's garnished, so you never see it?
Correct.
Okay, and that goes to child support?
Correct.
It appears from the petition documents and so forth that obtaining your first couple quarterly reports required some effort by the staff at the Structural Pest Control Board. It seems like you had to be reminded 2 or 3 times by letter. And it doesn't appear that you have even filed your quarterly report for the current or the last quarter, which would have been due on September 16th, 2019. Is there a reason why you're falling short on the condition of your probation requiring you to submit quarterly reports?
The only reason that I can give you truthfully is that it is a quarterly report, so it's, what is that, every 3 months, approximately 4 months, between life, work, and kids, and everything in between. It's something that's not at the tip of my brain to remember to do. So it is correct. It is accurate that the board has had to remind me, send me a letter and say, hey, we haven't received your quarterly report for whatever period. As soon as I get it, I fill it out and either email or fax it right over. But it is accurate that I've had to be reminded to file it, to send it in.
The stipulation that you signed, and actually the disciplinary order that was part of that stipulation, pointed out that one of the conditions was the quarterly reports, and it states that respondent, which in the case was yourself, shall file quarterly reports with the board during the period of probation, no later than 10 days after the end of the quarter. That's really all it says. It puts no requirements on the Structural Pest Control Board to send you letters or to remind you. So what can you tell the board today to kind of assure them that that you're going to take full responsibility for your probation conditions without, I guess, needing a reminder?
Simply, all I can really do is make a mark on a calendar, which I probably should have done months ago. And like I said in my opening statement, if you will, I don't deny any part of my probation, anything that was handed down to me as far as the stipulated agreement that I had did enter into. But if the board were to deny my request, then I would assure the board that from this point forward, that quarterly reports will be filed on time, if not ahead of time. That's something that I will take full responsibility for. So I don't know if any of my licensing history or anything, if any of you view any of my licenses. I've been doing structural pest control for a long time. I think this is going on 16, almost 17 years. I've never had a violation. in the field as a technician or as an operator, as an owner-operator of my company. This particular violation, in my opinion, was very minor. And it was something that was almost out of my control. I ended up having to get law enforcement to escort me to my home in Elk Grove when I lived there, and I'll pretty much force my wife to let me in the house to get. But by then, certificates, files had been discarded.
With regards to your insurance on your company above and beyond pest control, the board did receive a copy of a certificate of insurance as is required from the period of February 27th, 2018 through February 27th, 2019. However, the records suggest that there's a lapse, or there was a lapse of insurance on file with the board from April 29, 2017 to the February 27, 2018, a period of 304 days. During that time, did your company have insurance?
No, I don't believe, if I recall those dates, I don't believe I was operating because this accusation had come. So I wasn't sure if I could even continue to operate. I received a letter, maybe I misunderstood it or misread it, but if I recall correctly, the letter pretty much told me to cease and desist operations because of that. So I hadn't operated my company since, I want to say April of 2017.
And then, however, you did file the certificate of insurance on February 27th of 2018. So did you then start up again?
I had planned to, but by then my clientele had pretty much walked away from me. I told them what was going on and informed them that I may or may not be able to continue to be their service provider and that they may need to seek pest control service elsewhere. So by the time I got up and running again, I didn't have enough clientele to stay afloat, which is what led me to my current job. I decided that it might be best for me just to let it go, get out of business for myself, seek employment elsewhere, so that's what I did.
So that leads me to kind of a question. When you look at your, obviously, your employment future, you expect to be in the structural pest control field, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you anticipate continuing your career, say, with the state as a state pest control worker, or do you hope to someday return to owning a structural pest control company?
No, I have no desire, if you will, to go back into business for myself. The job I have now with the Department of Corrections is a perfect fit, in my opinion. I've been there just over a year now. I don't plan on leaving. I'd like to stay there if I can. Obviously, my license is an important piece of that puzzle. But no, I have no desire or want to go back into business for myself.
And may I just suggest that maintaining your license is contingent on adhering to the conditions of your probation. And I assume that you wouldn't be able to work at the Department of Corrections in your current position if you were to, lose your license.
Correct.
Okay. And so certainly that would be motivation to present quarterly reports on time, wouldn't it?
It would. I don't disagree with you there. please keep in mind that with me not operating a company any longer, along with the other monthly reports that I was doing during the 9 years I was in business, or almost 9 years I was in business, it would have been something that would have been at the forefront of the reports that I would have already had to fill out and file. But since I don't have to do those any longer, it's not something that I keep at the front of my brain. I mean, it's neither here nor there, but I mean that's just the truth of it. It's something that I don't think about. I go to work, take care of my kids, and try and survive. The quarterly report is, I understand it's a stipulation of my probation, but it's not something that I continuously think about.
Can you think about it 4 times a year?
Yeah, like I said, I've need be, I will make marks on a calendar because I have a desk calendar at work. I can make marks on my calendar and do it that way. If it came to that, sure.
Okay.
That's definitely something I can assure the board from this point forward, that if quarterly reports continue to be required, that you will have them on time.
All right. And it appears from the documents that you did recently receive a citation that was related to using 2 of your IPM hours for your continuing education courses. That was done through A and B courses. And those were to fulfill the order of abatement related to your probation, but cannot be used towards the next renewal.
Correct.
So that is probably something you will look into rectifying?
Yes, matter of fact, I've already been in the process of trying to rectify that. There was a miscommunication between myself and the instructor at AB courses. I was under the impression that the 2 IPM hours that he had sent me, I completed and were going to be accepted as the 2 IPM hours. But I think what he ended up doing was sending me the same 2 hours from a previous course, and it is marked in the packet here that particular course could not be used once again. So when I contacted him and asked him about the 2 additional hours, of course it's a possibility for me to get, but I have to pay for it. That's a problem that I had, is paying for the 2-hour course. Of course, it's something I have to pay for up front in order to get that. But as far as rectifying it, sure. If I need to borrow money from somebody, whether it's $100 or whatever it might be, I'm positive that I can get that taken care of.
The burden of proof on petitions such as this to modify probation is on you as a petitioner, and the standard of proof for these petitions is to show by clear and convincing evidence that the relief you're seeking should be granted. So is there anything or any other information that you can think of that you would like to provide to the board in support of your request? Is there anything else that?
I can't say that there is. I kind of felt that this was a pretty straightforward case here, and that with my licensing history, obviously you all know the history of my license from the time I originally got licensed all the way up to the time I have an operator's license. I've never had a problem with continuing education in the past. It's always been taken care of. It's always been turned in on time, even during the time that I was in business for myself. Continuing education was always something that was at the first and foremost importance. That's pretty much it.
Your Honor, those are the questions that I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. McDonough. And now we're going to provide an opportunity for board members to ask some questions if they have any, starting on my right with Mr. Tamayo.
You stated that you don't plan to go back into the pest control business. Is that correct?
No, I'm
So-
going to stay with Department of Corrections if I can, yeah.
Why do you need to maintain your license then?
That was a stipulation of the job. That was a requirement that when I applied for the job with the Department of Corrections that I had to have, not necessarily an operator's license, but I did have to have a Branch 2. So with me having a Branch 2 op license, I qualified to apply for this job.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Van Steenwyk. All right. Mr. Good.
I have none.
And then Ms. Brand. All right. Anything further from Deputy Attorney General?
No,
Might have-
Your Honor.
All right. All right, then.
And to just wish the petitioner good luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for your testimony. And I just want to confirm for the record, you don't have any other witnesses or documentary evidence to present, right?
None.
All right. Thank you so much. Then that concludes the petition hearing in this matter. The record is closed and the case is submitted for decision, and we're off the record in this particular matter.
Thank you. Have a good one. You guys have a good day.
All right, to proceed to the next. That works for me. Okay. I'm just saying, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah. All right, we're ready to proceed. Oh, 1 minute, okay.
Okay, I'll set your arm.
All right, we are before the Structural Pest Control Board for the Department of Consumer Affairs, and we are here now to hear the petition for modification or termination of probation by Edward G. Hernandez. This is operator's license number 11475, branch 2, and OAH case number 2019-090-978. My name is Wim Van Rooyen. I'm an administrative law judge that's been assigned to preside over this matter. Today is October 23rd, 2019, and it is about just before 2 o'clock in Sacramento, California. Will all the board members please identify themselves for the record, starting first with the board member on my right.
Dave Tamayo.
Darren Van Steenwyk.
Curtis Good.
And I do find that a quorum of the board is present, and may I please also take the appearance of the Deputy Attorney General.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tim McDonough, Deputy Attorney General, appearing here on behalf of the people of the state of California pursuant to Government Code Section 11522.
And good afternoon, Mr. McDonough.
Afternoon.
And then for the petitioner.
Edward Hernandez, licensed operator of Lead Exterminating Service, Coachella Valley.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Hernandez.
Your Honor, board members.
And I just wanted to verify, you're representing yourself today. You don't have an attorney, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. So before we went on the record, I explained the procedures in this matter to all the petitioners collectively. I explained that the Deputy Attorney General will proceed first to present the case in general, and after that you will have a right to present your case under oath and explain why the petition should be granted. You have the right to call any witnesses on your behalf, as well as to testify yourself, and also to present any additional documentary evidence you believe is relevant for the board's consideration. You and any witnesses that testify on your behalf are then subject to questioning by the Deputy Attorney General and members of the board. The board is particularly concerned with rehabilitation that you may have engaged in, and I'll just remind you that It's not necessary to relitigate your underlying conviction. It's also, you can assume that the board has carefully reviewed your petition package and you don't have to repeat everything that's in it. You can simply highlight what you believe is most relevant for the board, or what you would like the board to concentrate on. After the hearing, the board will go into a closed session to deliberate on your petition, and then a written decision will be prepared at a later point, so you won't receive a decision today. All right? Do you understand all of those parameters?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, great. At this point, I'll turn it over to the Deputy Attorney General to present the case.
Okay, Your Honor, was there, and I probably missed it, the OAH number?
Yes, there is. Let me read it out for you just in case. That is 2019090978. And actually, one more matter before I turn it over to you. I believe that because we don't have a court reporter, didn't show up for the proceedings today, I just want the record to be clear that petitioner and the Deputy Attorney General have agreed to have this hearing be video recorded, and that would be the formal record for these proceedings. And I just want to confirm, do you agree to video recording of the proceedings as the formal record in lieu of a court reporter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Deputy Attorney General?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much. Now I will turn it over to you to present the case.
Okay,
Thank you.
Very good. Your Honor, I would like to first mark for identification and offer into evidence as Exhibit 1 the original petition packet with the accompanying documents. The board members and petitioner have been provided with a copy of the same set of this exhibit.
All right. Thank you. You may approach. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, I'll proceed with a brief description of the packet.
Thank you very much.
Okay. The packet contains a August 20th, 2019 correspondence from the board staff confirming petitioner's hearing date for today at this time, as well as a signed confirmation request from respondent, and it is dated July 27th, 2019. There is a June 12th, 2019 letter from the board relating to the petition for modification or termination of probation, as well as guidelines for petitions for reinstatements or reduction of penalties. The guidelines themselves are confirmed as received by Mr. Hernandez with his signature on page 4. That's dated June 18, 2019. There is the petition for modification, termination of probation regarding petitioners, operator's license number OPR 11475 in branch 2, which was submitted by petitioner. It is signed and dated June 18, 2019. And the document indicates he is seeking termination of probation. There is the May 8th, 2018 letter and decision and order in case number 2018-44 relating to the accusation against Edward G. Hernandez, operator's license number OPR 11475, and his company Elite Exterminating Service Incorporated, the company registration certificate number PR 6773. The order involves an effective date of June 7th, 2018. The included in that packet is a stipulated settlement and disciplinary order to resolve accusation number 2018-44, as well as the accusation itself. The board's decision accepted the stipulated settlement and disciplinary order, which placed petitioner's operator's license number OPR 11475 and his company registration certificate number PR 6773, which is for Elite Exterminating Service Incorporated, on probation for 3 years with various terms and conditions. Those documents are 20 pages total. There is a September 25th, 2019 memorandum from the board staff indicating that the disciplinary order pointed out the petitioner was to pay $723.75 in cost recovery relating to the accusation. and that petitioner entered into an approved payment plan on May 14, 2018. The May 8th, 2000 letter relates to a payment plan that allowed for 14 monthly payments of $50 and a final payment of $23.75. And the payments would be due by August 2019. That plan is signed by petitioner on May 14, 2018. It is my understanding that the $723.75 cost recovery has been paid by Mr. Hernandez. Also included is petitioner's probation quarterly report for Elite Terminating Incorporated for the period ending September 2018. It is 2 pages. There is a September 14, 2018 letter from the Structural Pest Control Board to petitioner in which the Structural Pest Control Board indicated that they had received the quarterly report for the company, but that he also needed to file one for his operator's license and asking that it be submitted. There is then 18 pages which contain petitioner's quarterly reports for his operator's license as well as for his company, Elite Exterminating Service Incorporated, and those are 18 pages. There is the February 1st, 2019 letter from the Structural Pest Control Board to petitioner indicating that petitioner's operator's license for the 2018 renewal cycle for continuing education had been audited and that petitioner had met the continuing education requirements for the 2018 renewal cycle. That's a 1-page document. Your Honor, the license history for petitioner's operator's license number OPR 11475 is included, and it indicates that the license was initially issued in Branch 2 on March 5th, 2007, and also that on March 7th, 2007, petitioner became the owner and qualifying manager of Elite Exterminating Service Incorporated in Indio, California. There's also a license history for petitioner's company, Elite Exterminating Service Inc., Incorporated, with the registration certificate number PR 6773, and that was issued in Branch 2. Included is a license history for petitioner's field representative license, number FR 35097, which was originally issued in Branch 2 on September 9, 2002. There is also a license history for petitioner's field representative license, number FR 30870, initially issued in Branch 2 on May 20th, 1999. There is a license history for petitioner's applicator's license number RA 20689, which was initially issued in branches 2 and 3 to petitioner on May 13, 2002. There is finally a license history for petitioner's applicator's license number RA 9931, which was initially issued in Branch 2 on June 17, 1998. Your Honor, that's a brief explanation of the documents contained in what's marked for identification Exhibit 1. I would ask that that document, Exhibit 1, be entered into evidence.
All right, I've marked the exhibit, the petition package as Exhibit 1, and does the petitioner have any objections to admission of Exhibit 1?
No, it sounds correct. It actually sounds really good. That's a great history. Thank you.
All right, no objections heard. Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I'll proceed with a brief summary of the case. The board issued petitioner's operator's license number OPR 11475 in Branch 2 on March 5th, 2017. On January 31st, Your Honor, let me I apologize.
No apologies needed.
The license OPR 11475 was issued at Branch 2 on March 5th, 2007. On January 31st, 2018, accusation number 2018-44 was filed against petitioner's operator's license number OPR 11475 and his company registration certificate number PR 6773. Accusation number 2018-44 alleged two causes for discipline. The first for securing a license by fraud, deceit, or knowingly misrepresentation of a material fact, violation of Business and Profession Code sections 498 and 8637. Specifically, the accusation alleged that on or about May 28, 2015, petitioners signed the license renewal application form for his operator's license, declaring under penalty of perjuries that the information was true and correct, and he stated that he had completed the 16 hours of continuing education required for the renewal of his license. Respondent's operator's license was subsequently renewed for a period of 3 years. In August of 2016, the Structural Pest Control Board informed petitioner that he had been selected for an audit of his continuing education hours, and respondent was directed to provide the certificates of course completions to verify the continuing education requirements for the renewal period of June 1st, 2012 through June 30th, 2015. After numerous notices to petitioner, on February 15th, 2017, petitioner provided the licensing unit with certificates of compliance. However, they were outside of the current renewal period. On December 8th, 2017, the licensing unit spoke with petitioner, the petitioner explained that his CPA, I believe the certified public accountant, had left the country with all his documents, and that he tried to contact the company where he took the courses. However, they had since closed. Respondent was asked to submit a letter of explanation, and on December 14, 2017, the licensing unit of the Structural Pest Control Board received a letter from respondent that he had been unable to submit any certificates to the board due to his ongoing litigation with his CPA. A final notice was sent on December 27, 2017 regarding providing the verification, but a response was not received. The second cause for discipline is related. It is based on a failure to comply with the provisions of the Structural Pest Control Board in violation of Business and Profession Code Section 8641 and California Code of Regulations Title 16, 1950. And was based on petitioner's failure to submit verification of completing continuing education courses for the renewal period of July 1st, 2012 through June 30th, 2015, as requested by the board. On June 7, 2018, the board adopted a stipulated settlement and order that resolved accusation number 2018-44, and it ordered that the operator's license number OPR 11475 and company registration certificate number PR 6773 in Branch 2 be revoked. However, the revocations would be stayed and the licenses placed on probation for 3 years. In the stipulated settlement document, petitioner admitted to the truth of each and every charge and allegation in accusation number 2018-44 and agreed to be bound by the probationary terms set out in the disciplinary order. Among other conditions, a petitioner agreed to file quarterly reports and to pay $723.75 to the board as cost recovery. Your Honor, subsequently, the petitioner has filed the petition before the board asking that his probation period be terminated. Essentially, that, Your Honor, concludes my presentation of the documentary evidence and case history. I am prepared to proceed with questions for the petitioner at the appropriate time.
Thank you very much, Mr. McDonough. All right, Mr. Hernandez, now is your opportunity to present your case. Would you like to testify on your own behalf?
Yes.
All right, please stand up and raise your right hand, and I will swear you in. Do you solemnly state under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Please have a seat. And I'll just remind you again that the board has had the benefit of reviewing your petition package, so you don't need to repeat everything that's in there. You can simply highlight what you believe is important. And there's no attorney asking questions, so feel free to just testify and tell us what you'd like us to know and consider. Thanks.
Okay, as the board is aware, this is actually in a 30-day period, this is actually the second request for continuing education hours on at the specified period. At the time, year of 2016, my then CPA came up with a brilliant idea. Let's put everything on digital copy. We'll take all your files, get rid of all your clutter. We'll put everything on your computer, hence your phone. This way you have all your documentation, all your legal paperwork on your phone. So if anyone ever has any questions or wants to see your certificate at a job site, you can just pop it out, go to their Bluetooth printer, done. Okay. I gave her roughly 3 years of documents, all my documents, 3 years worth, my bank statements. She being my CPA, gave her all my IRS paperwork, everything. And round about election time in 2016, she left the country. One of the few who said, actually kept a word that would leave the country if we had a new president. So, gone. So when I received notice from the state in regards that we need continuing education hours, I have them. I'll contact my CPA. No luck. Called again. No luck. Course of several months, she's not returning my call. She has all my paperwork. I have letters coming in from the IRS. Luckily, I hired myself a new team. They represented me with them. But I was not able to come up with anything, any proof. The Structural Pest Control Board, and especially Melissa Roberts here at this branch, she was very helpful. Everything was very helpful in regards to, is there any proof? She even came up with the idea of, can you get some bank statements? Do you have a receipt? You know, I know the company that I took the continuing education hours for. They closed down. It was called ASAP. They closed down. I went to the bank. I went from a CPA, not a CPA, from a DBA to a corporation. So we had closed accounts and reopened them. They don't keep any records. Once your account is closed, that's it. Okay, especially after a few years. Okay, I did not have anything to give to the Structural Pest Control Board. So they forwarded me to, they did what they could. They forwarded me to Greg Salute at the Xavier's office, District Attorney's office. He asked me, asked me what the situation was. He knew what the situation was. Then he said, can you just get the hours? Yes, I have hours. I have hours now. I can give them to you. Okay, I can give you fresh hours. All right, I want you to go ahead and send that to me. He forwarded it to the Structural Pest Control Board. Bam, his part is done. Okay, now I was handed a fee, the $700. I paid that immediately. Okay, I submitted the hours. They were okay with, but the minimal probationary period was 3 years. Okay, for not having one period of continuing education hours. Okay, was 3, which I thought was a little steep, but I understand it's a system. It's what they do. It's the minimal length. That's why we're here today. I'm asking you to remove me from probation. I have a great history. I would have had my boxes of files, I would have just a tremendous amount of continuing education hours because I love attending trade classes. Matter of fact, sir, you look familiar to me. Like I've seen you at a trade class, like somewhere. All right. You meet so many people out there. You know, Mike Duran, trade classes. You know, I'm out there. My face is known. Okay. So this is one period, man. You got me. I don't have them, but I did my part. I did what the state asked me to do. Paid my fine. Did what I had to do. Satisfied the Structural Pest Control Board on their part. Now I am in the stage of, probation, which is unnerving. That's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hernandez. I'll then turn it over to the Deputy Attorney General if you have any questions for the petitioner.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. Mr. Hernandez, you've been on probation for a little over a year. Why is it so important for you to have your probation terminated at this early stage?
Sir, my business is growing. I need to open up another branch in the adjacent valley, Imperial and the Temecula Valley. Okay? Part of my stipulation I am limited on being a qualifying manager for other stores. Okay? So I'm not allowed to expand my company or be an operator for friends who just started their companies. That's the tie down.
So so it's hindering your ability to grow your business.
That's right. I want to eventually branch out, be all over the state. Not this far. Not Sacramento. That's just too far.
In attachment A to your petition for modification, termination, or probation, you stated that, quote, the 3-year probation handed down by the Structural Pest Control Board was rubber stamped and was way too excessive for 1/4 year of continuing education courses. Do you still feel that way?
Yes, sir.
However, you did agree to those terms and conditions when you signed the stipulation for settlement to resolve accusation number 2018-44, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you agreed to the 3-year probation term.
Sir, I asked for a minimal, for 30 days, and I was told that this is the minimal. 3 years is what the minimal period is.
But you agreed to it, correct?
Yeah, of course, sir. I run a business. This is how I make my money.
In attachment B to your petition for modification, termination, or probation, you answer no to the question that asks, do you admit to all or some of the charges in the accusation filed against you? Why did you respond this way, no, to that question, in light of the fact that you admitted to the truth of each and every charge in accusation number 2018-44?
Sir, I am a victim of this. People who know me from my industry and know the area where I work, and then people that are in the same industry know that I'm all about continuing education. I'm all about safety. Someone has a question, they come to me, even if they work for another company. I'm more than happy to help. I see myself as a victim of this. It's not that I don't want to give it to you. It's just I didn't have it, nor did I didn't have any proof that I had it. It is tremendous. I felt hopeless. It was just, in a way, embarrassing that I didn't have this, and when the industry knows who I am.
You would agree with me, though, that the Structural Pest Control Board deeds to not only not only enforce its regulations, but also seek verification and proper documentation regarding complying with the law, correct?
Yes, sir, and I would hold them to that.
Okay, and you understand the reasons for that?
Yes, sir, and I thank them for that.
And in fact, you have paid the $723.75 in cost recovery, am I correct?
Sir, immediately I was told, I sent a certified check to the Structural Pest Control Board the day of that fine.
Okay, you didn't enter into a payment plan?
No, sir, I had the funds.
Okay, all right, the accusation pack, or the petition packet does suggest that, at one point you did, that you kind of entered into an agreement to pay the costs through a payment plan in 14 monthly payments of $50, and then a final payment of $23.75 due by August 2019.
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, that was the first thing I was offered, and I notified the Structural Pest Control Board that I had it, and I paid it immediately.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. All right. All right, and essentially, you have been diligent with submitting your quarterly reports for both your company and your operator's license.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Excuse me. And you're still operating Elite Exterminating Services Incorporated?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And while I understand your frustration with the incidents that occurred with your public accountant, certified public accountant, you understand that as the owner and as an operator with your operator's license, that you are ultimately responsible.
Yes, sir. I worked with the Xavier's office, submitted all the paperwork they requested on a timely manner. Greg Salute was actually the deputy district attorney I dealt with. And I also dealt with the Structural Pest Control Board. Any information that they requested was handed over immediately. I wanted to get this resolved. Unfortunately, I didn't have the requested information because I just did not have it. But I offered new hours. I am hoarding hours now, I tell you that for sure. I got them.
Okay. Is there any other information that you feel is important for the board to know as they consider your request for the termination of your probation?
Actually, not in regards to myself. I would just love for the board to get more into coming up with when you come up with a probation program, one specific to the infraction that was done, as opposed to like the term I used earlier, or it's the rubber stamp. Bam, this is what you're getting for 3 years. I thought that was a bit excessive. That's it.
Your Honor, those are the questions that I have.
Thank you, Mr. McDonough. I'm now going to allow board members to ask some questions of petitioner, starting with Mr. Tamayo on my right.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Van Steenwyk?
No questions.
Mr. Good? Ms. Brand?
I'm okay.
All right. Then I believe that concludes this petition hearing. I just want to make sure that you have no other witnesses or evidence to present, documents or anything like that.
No, we're great. I just want this resolved and let me be free so I can expand my business and grow and be a national conglomerate.
All right, thank you very much. That concludes the petition hearing in this matter. The record is closed. The case is submitted for decision, and we're off the record in this matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I'm free to go, right?
You're free to go.
Yeah.
Take care.
The break, or are you ready? I'm
You guys need a break? Want to keep moving?
I'm happy to do whatever.
Let's keep moving.
Okay. All right. Mr. McDonough, just let me know whenever you're ready. I know you got to circulate your documents. How are you? Are we ready to proceed? All right, great. All right, we are before the Structural Pest Control Board for the Department of Consumer Affairs, and we're here to review our final petition for the day, which is the petition for reinstatement by Gerald Wayne Finley II. This is Field Representative License Number 32663, Branches 1 and 3, and the OAH case number is 20191000155. My name is Wim Van Rooyen. I'm an administrative law judge with the Office of Administrative Hearings for the state of California, and I've been assigned to preside over the matter today. Today is October 23rd, 2019, and it's about 2:30 p.m. in Sacramento, California. Would all of the board members please identify themselves for the record, starting with the board member on my furthest right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Mike Duran, I'm industry member.
Dave Tamayo.
Darren Van Steenwyk.
Curtis Good.
Rhonda Brandt.
Thank you very much, and I'll let the record reflect that a quorum of the board is present for the petition hearing. May I please have the appearance of the Deputy Attorney General?
Yes, Your Honor. Tim McDonough, Deputy Attorney General, appearing here on behalf of the people of the state of California pursuant to Government Code Section 11522.
Good afternoon, Mr. McDonough.
Good afternoon.
And then for the petitioner.
My name is Gerald Finley.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Finley. And I'll just check with you. You're representing yourself today. You don't have an attorney, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. So I'll just let the record reflect that before we went on the formal record, I explained the procedures in this matter to all of the petitioners collectively, including that the Deputy Attorney General will be providing a general orientation about each petition. After that, you will then have an opportunity to present your case under oath, which could include your own testimony as well as testimony by any witnesses in support, and any additional documentary evidence you'd like to offer. And then you, if you testify, as well as any of your witnesses, would be subject to questioning by the Deputy Attorney General as well as members of the board. And I'll just remind you that the board is particularly concerned with rehabilitation and that you may have engaged in. And the board has had the benefit of reviewing your petition packet, so there's no need to repeat everything that's in there, but you can certainly highlight particular issues that you want the board to focus on. After the hearing, the board will go into a closed session to deliberate on your petition, so you won't receive a decision today. But after the closed session, I will be drafting a decision for the board, and at some point, the board will notify you in writing of the decision. Do you have any questions at this point?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. At this point, yes. Oh, yes, thank you for the reminder. So, and again, because we don't have a court reporter who appeared today, the petitioner and Deputy Attorney General, my understanding is that both have generously consented to have this proceeding recorded by video recording, and that would serve as the formal record of this proceeding today. And let me just confirm on the record that that's the case. Petitioner, do you have any objection to having it video recorded?
None at all.
All right. Any objection from the Deputy Attorney General?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Then at this point, I'll turn it over to Mr. McDonough to present the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time, I would like to mark for identification and offer into evidence as Exhibit 1 the original petition packet with accompanying documents. This is a petition for reinstatement. The board members and petitioner have been provided with a copy of the same set of documents in this exhibit. May I approach?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'll just proceed to give a brief explanation of the contents of Exhibit 1.
Thank you very
Mark for
much.
identification. Your Honor, there is and board members, there is the August 20th, 2019 correspondence from the board confirming today's hearing date and time, as well as a signed confirmation from petitioner, and that was dated on September 11, 2019. There is the March 29, 2019 letter from the board to petitioner regarding the guidelines for petitions for reinstatement or reduction of penalty. The guidelines themselves are confirmed by Mr. Finley as received on page 2, that's dated September 11, 2019. There is a petition for reinstatement of revoked field representative license number FR 32663, branches 1 and 3, which was submitted by the petitioner and signed and dated April 3rd, 2019. That's 2 pages. There is also a petition for reinstatement of revoked license declaration signed and dated April 3rd, 2019. That's 2 pages. There is the request for live scan service done for petitioner, and it was completed on May 6, 2019. There is 14 pages which include mitigation and related documents that was submitted by petitioner with his petition for reinstatement. There is a continuing education certificate which was applied towards the 2009 renewal application, which was referenced in probation term number 9 in the accusation to be explained later. There is a continuing education certificate submitted by petitioner regarding his 2012 renewal that has 9 pages. The July 18, 2012 letter and decision and order in case number 2011-31, that's 2011-31, regarding accusation against Gerald Wayne Finley, the second field representative license number FR 32663. That decision has an effective date of August 17, 2012. It's also included is the stipulated settlement and disciplinary order that resolved accusation number 2011-31. The accusation is included. The decision adopts a stipulation for settlement and disciplinary order and placed the petitioner's field representative license on probation for 3 years with various terms and conditions. Those documents altogether are 17 pages. There are probation documents relating to the probation that resulted from the decision in accusation number 2011-31. Those are 17 pages. On page 14 of those 17, there's a memo dated October 2nd, 2019, that indicates that there was an order relating to that accusation. Decision that petitioner would pay $2,500 at cost recovery, and as of October 2nd, 2019, the board has not received any payment from petitioners towards the cost recovery related with that accusation. Your Honor, is also a September 30th, 2014 letter and default decision and order in a different case. This was case number 2014-54 regarding the accusation and petition to revoke probation against Gerald Wayne Finley II, field representative license number FR 32663, and the decision in that matter, the default decision had an effective date of October 30th, 2014. There's also a copy of the accusation and petition to revoke probation in that packet, and that is 16 pages. There is a certification of prosecution costs. It is a declaration from Deputy Attorney General M. Travis Perry and related documents related to accusation number 2014-54, showing the prosecution costs on the 2014 accusation and petition to revoke probation to be $2,767.50. Next, in the documents, there are certified court documents from the Superior Court of California in Santa Barbara County relating to a case of the people of the state of California versus Gerald Wayne Finley, case number 1433410, which indicates a conviction on or about July 3rd, 2014 for a misdemeanor count of failure to obtain workers' compensation insurance, a violation of the Labor Codes Section 3700.5 Subdivision A. The conviction was against petitioner. The documents indicate that he was placed on probation for 2 years and imposed a fine of $10,000. I would point out that those documents are double-sided. There are certified court documents from the Superior Court of California, Santa Barbara County, regarding a different criminal case of the people of the state of California versus Gerald Wayne Finley. The case number is 1452384, and it indicates a misdemeanor conviction for driving while the privilege to drive was suspended or revoked, violation of the Vehicle Code Section 14601.1, Subdivision A. The conviction occurred on or about March 10th, 2015 against petitioner. Documents indicate the petitioner was placed on probation for 2 years and ordered to pay a fine of $1,305. Those are 4 pages, and again, those documents are double-sided in the original. There is a license history for petitioner's field representative license number FR 32663. It was initially issued in Branch 1 to petitioner on August 22nd, 2000. On August 30th, 2014, the license was revoked pursuant to the default decision and order in accusation and petition to revoke probation number 2014-54. There is also the license history for Finley Termite and Pest Control Company. It has a registration certificate number PR 5565, which indicates a Christina Stroud as the owner and a Gregory Lyndon Wallace as a qualifying manager. And that certificate was originally issued on April 4, 2008 in branches 2 and 3. And that license was revoked pursuant to a default decision order in a separate case, accusation number 2014-53, on October 30th, 2014. Your Honor, that's a brief description of the contents of what's been marked as Exhibit 1. I would ask at this time that Exhibit 1 be entered into evidence.
Thank you, Mr. McDonough. So I have marked the petition package as Exhibit 1. Do you have any objections to admission of Exhibit 1?
No.
All right, thank you. Exhibit 1 is admitted. Mr. McDonough, you can proceed with your outline of the...
Your Honor, at this time I will proceed with a brief summary of the case as follows. The board issued petitioners field field representative license number FR 32663 on August 22nd, 2000. On February 1st, 2011, accusation number 2011-31 was filed against petitioner's field representative license. Accusation number 2011-31 alleged one cause for discipline, and that was based on failure to verify completion of continuing education, a violation of Business Profession Code Section 8641, California Code of Regulations, Title 16, Section 1950. The cause for discipline was based on the allegation that petitioner failed to verify that he had completed 20 hours of continuing education. The respondent failed to submit copies of the continuing education certificates as requested by the board on December 8, 2009, February 8, 2010, and May 11, 2010. On August 17, 2012, a stipulated settlement and disciplinary order was adopted by the board as a decision to resolve accusation number 2011-31, and it ordered that field representative license number FR 32663 be revoked, with the revocation being stayed and petitioner's license placed on probation for 3 years with various conditions of probation, including filing quarterly reports and paying cost recovery in the amount of $2,500. In the stipulated settlement document, petitioner admitted the truth of each and every charge and allegation in accusation number 2011-31 and agreed to abide by the conditions of probation in the disciplinary order. Subsequently, on April 22nd, 2014, a new accusation, an accusation and petition to revoke probation, number 2014-54, was filed against petitioner's field representative license. The accusation and petition to revoke probation, number 2014-54, alleged two causes for discipline, the first being failure to verify completion of continuing education, in violation of Business Profession Code Section 8641 and Cal Code of Regulations, Title 16, Section 1950. The basis for this was that on or about November 28, 2012, the board sent respondent a letter indicating that he had been selected for the 2012 continuing education audit. On or about July 19, 2013, the board received continuing education certificates from respondent. On or about October 30, 2013, the board sent respondent a letter informing him that he was 8 hours short of the required 20 hours and requesting that he submit any additional certificates within 14 days. The board did not receive any additional certificates from respondent. The second cause for discipline in the accusation involves a misrepresentation of material fact, a violation of Business Profession Code Section 8637. The basis for that cause for discipline was that on or about June or in or about June 2012, respondent submitted a license renewal application to the board. On or about June 30, 2012, respondents or petitioner certified under penalty of perjury on the application form that he successfully completed 20 hours of continuing education during the renewal period of June 1st, 2009 through July 30th, 2012. However, as mentioned previously, the board did not receive those additional certificates from respondent, and the accusation alleged that the petitioner misrepresented a material fact in signing his license renewal applications, that he had completed all the audits, all the continuing education requirements. The petition to revoke probation of case number 2014-54 alleged three causes to revoke the probation. One was the failure to comply with conditions regarding quarterly reports. The second was fail to comply with conditions regarding a written notice from employer. And the third was for failure to complete the cost recovery. On October 30th, 2014, the Structural Pest Control Board issued a default decision and order which revoked petitioner's field representative license number FR 32663. Your Honor, and subsequently, recently, obviously, the petition for reinstatement of license was as submitted and is now before the board for consideration. That concludes my presentation of the documentary evidence and the case history. I am prepared to proceed with questions for the petitioner at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Mr. McDonough. So, Mr. Finley, now is your opportunity to present your case. Would you like to testify?
Yes, please.
All right, then if you could stand and raise your right hand, I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly state under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Please have a seat. And I'll just remind you again that the board has had the benefit of reviewing your entire
Yeah.
petition package, so just focus on which the bits that you particularly want to highlight.
So I think this is two things are happening. He just stated the district attorney or deputy attorney general stated that I didn't have 8 hours. And if you look in their packet, all my hours are done 2012, 2013. And that was based on, to be completely honest with you, I was working for a company and they babied me and they did everything for us. And I've never even filled out a piece of paper. I signed them for the 14 years I was with the company. Certificates were handled for us. Everything was handled with us top notch. And I blew it. Like, honestly, I could tell you within that 2008, 2012 period, I was at San Diego PCO convention for the 4 days, getting hours. Also, 2008, I was the secretary of our PCOC committee, our local committee, which I was at and Mission City Fumigation has tons and tons and tons of 8 o'clock classes before we even start work that I was at. I did sign the paper that I did it, and I did not have the certificates. When I went to Mission City, I had left, and they did not have the certificates at that time. So I had also set in 20 hours to renew my license for 2012. And when I was found guilty in 2012 of not having the other certificates, the board told me that I had to nullify those and had 30 days to bring others, which this is not even my paperwork. This is from the board. They had the full 20. I was called in 2012. I found out that my ex was stealing money. Christina Stroud was stealing money. She stole over $1 million from our company, and she was gambling and doing drugs and doing all kinds of crazy things. When I say I'm a single father, I'm a single father of 3, and I have full legal, full physical custody. I've been homeless. The way I found everything out was my son opened the door to the police officers evicting us. So when we were late for everything, I was breaking into our house just to try to run the business because everything, I had 2 hours. My office was in our garage. It was locked up. I was jumping through the window to do reports to try to keep everything. As far as the $2,500, I've submitted court paperwork from our court in our fight for custody that shows you on many times she wrote bad checks. I sent a check to you guys in July for $2,500, which I was agreed upon to pay. Now, did she write that in the ledger and take it to the casino? I'm sure she did, because she did that many times. Steve Winfrey called me in 2014. We were living in our trailer behind our office, me and my 3 boys. And Steve Winfrey called me and said that my license was suspended or revoked because I did not have hours. I called, I provided the hours, and I honestly, after all that stuff, after everything that went through, like my license is being suspended because of a dog ticket, not even on my dog. The workman's comp, I get a workman's comp thing because I'm the one standing, but yet they said right there that Christina Stroud was the owner. So I can't go after her for stealing money because technically it's her money. But yet I can get all the penalties for her stuff because she barely sees her kids now. 6 years later, she's barely seen her kids. So I am guilty of loving the wrong person. I am guilty of everything that you guys said, but I did not do anything intentionally. I've never been in trouble before this. Everything that I've been in trouble for, and there's two things you don't even have on there. I got in trouble for a check that she wrote in her name, in our business name, that I was just a signer on the account. So that was a felony that I just recently found out about. Everything is because I'm the one standing there with my kids taking this up, and she gets away scot-free all the time. But I did prove that I had the 20 hours. I was never notified over a fine because I paid it. I thought I paid it in July, and I was never notified that my quarterlies weren't done, because they were done until my license was suspended, and then I stopped because I tried to fight to try to get my hours done, and I was told that I could not work no more because my hours were not done. When they were done, you could look right here, they're all done. So 6 months ago, I kind of put my head in the sand. I buried everything. I just been trying to fight for my kids. 6 months ago, I found the hours that they said that I did not turn in. I turned them to Melissa Roberts. She already had them, though. So, to be honest with you, I'm just trying to start over. I'm just trying to start over. My kids, 9, 11, one just graduated high school. I just, it's super hard in a little community when you're embarrassed of your name. You're embarrassed of everything that you ever did, because everything that goes on is something that you didn't even do. Right? So I lost my name. I lost 15 years in this business. I lost everything. I've been homeless. I've done everything that I've tried to do, but nothing is a citation of me doing bad work. It really, if you look at the court papers, I think it would all read that everything that I'm saying is completely true. And when I found those hours, I was so happy, because I was like, yes, I'm going to prove these guys wrong, that I have these, the last 4 years have been nothing. And then Melissa tells me that I actually got revoked because I didn't have my hours, I didn't have my quarterlies, and I didn't have my money. So that's when I sent you guys the ledger book. I sent a picture of the ledger book that said that. And I mean, my quarterlies are here. 2 of them are late. 3 of them are late. I'm not going to even lie, but I was legit homeless. I mean, I think I even proved you guys the assist out of my house, but I was breaking and entering into a bank-owned house just to get my paperwork done so I could try to save my house and save my kids. And, you know, it's probably pretty bad to say, but, I get busted for workman's comp, and they say that I'm not even the owner of the company, but yet I'm the owner of the company when they want $10,000 and when they want someone to bust. So I don't know. I mean, I just need a fresh start. That's honestly, I just need a fresh start. So I'm hoping I could get my hours back and figure something out.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. I'm going to allow the Deputy Attorney General to ask some questions if he has any.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Finley, you started to, I think, mention them, but are there criminal convictions that the board is unaware of?
No, they're thrown out.
Okay, so we have the 2014.
I'm sorry, Mr. McDonough, could you speak up just a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry. There is a 2014 conviction for the labor code violation, correct?
Yes.
I think you talked about.
Yes.
Okay, and it sounds like that was something that was involved with the business.
Yes.
Okay. You also had a conviction subsequently for driving on a suspended license.
Correct.
And it appears actually in both those cases that you received some probation time from the criminal court.
Yeah. So it was funny. On Friday, I got pulled over, and on Monday it was re-released, and I didn't get the 100. I'm not gonna tell you that like I did everything correctly, but Christina forwarded the mail to our house so she could get the escrow checks for our company. So when I got a 120-day notice, like I'm with my kid paying child support is a mistake, and I have full custody of my kids because she had filed welfare and was getting checks. So I was racking up a bill for my kids when I had full physical custody. So my license got suspended for that. If you look on Monday, on Saturday I got pulled over going to a wrestling tournament. On Monday my license was back inactive, except for I just didn't have the $1,300 to fight it.
Okay. All right. So you say that, so all that was required was that you needed to pay the $1,305?
Yes. Sorry about that.
I'll just remind everyone at this point to make sure your cell phones are turned off.
I thought it was, but that's my alarm.
No worries.
Okay. You started to mention a felony that you said that the board wasn't aware of, and in fact, I'm not aware of.
It got dismissed because I paid it. I paid whatever they asked for. The damages from it was $6,500, and I borrowed $1,200 and paid it off, and they dropped it.
Okay. What court was that out of?
Santa Barbara County.
Okay. All right. Well, and was that recently?
No, it was a year ago maybe.
All right. And you were mentioning something about when you were breaking into a house.
It was my house.
Oh, you broke into your own house.
Yeah. So
Some documents. Or,
yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Should the board decide to reinstate your field representative license, what are your plans?
I want to go back into the industry. I want to get a job. I mean, ultimately, I'd like to own my own company. I think I was pretty successful in the 4 years that we were open. I mean, I could tell you we ran our business, and my ex was spending over $1.5 million. But I don't know what other bills she wasn't paying either. I know when we closed up, we were $350,000 in debt to our fumigators and stuff like that, and so some of it wasn't our money that she was spending, but it was definitely. That would ultimately be my goal.
Okay, so you hope to catch on with a company and work as a field representative.
Yeah.
And then a goal
Short term,
down the line,
correct? Yes.
To maybe get your operator's license. Okay. And when you talk about the company was at least on paper was owned by Christina Stroud, your ex-wife.
It wasn't my wife. It was just my girlfriend.
Okay.
Everything was. So we started the company. We had 2 children. We started the company, and she started it with money that she got from her grandma. So the aunt was a pretty smart lady, said that everything had to be in her name, had to be the bank, everything had to be her. She had to be, in essence, the owner.
Okay. And who was the qualifying manager?
His name's Gregory.
Okay, Gregory Walls.
Yeah.
Okay, and you weren't able to have, or you failed to ensure that he notify the board that he had received a copy of the decision in the accusation related to the 2011 accusation.
No, Steve Winfrey talked to him. Steve Winfrey spoke to Gregory at our office, July or August of 2012.
Okay.
And he signed a document saying that, I probably could find that document, but I'm pretty sure there's a document that said that I was on probation and he signed it.
All right. Okay, so since your license was revoked, and do you understand that your license was revoked as a result of a second accusation and a petition to revoke probation that was issued against you?
Due to not having my hours correct?
That was the basis for the accusation and the basis for the petition for to revoke your probation related to not complying with all the conditions.
So in my packet, no, I understand. So if you look right here, it says that I had 20 hours that I could not use in 2012. I had 30 days to submit 20 more. Okay, so here's the 20 more that I submitted.
Okay.
I was told that I was 8 short, and you just read that I was 8 short.
Right.
But I provided all 20. And this year when I found the hours, Melissa already had the 20. And then I was told that it wasn't only about hours; it was about money and about quarterlies.
Right.
But when Steve Winfrey talked to me and when Melissa talked to me, and the 20 hours that you submitted, I was told it was just hours. So that's why when I called Melissa, I thought I had won because I thought I could find my hours, and I was like, "Here you go. There's the hours I was missing." And that's when I was told it was based on not having my quarterlies and not having the money. And that's why I sent you a check stub written in July of 2012 for $2,500. I'm not saying it got to you. I would be amazed if it did get to you and not to the casino. And I also showed you that my quarterlies were late, but until the month before I was revoked, my quarterlies were done.
So, according to the documents and the procedural history of the case, you did not respond to an accusation and a petition to revoke probation that was sent to your address of record, and as a result of not
Correct.
responding, your license was revoked.
Yes, 100% correct. But I could show you that our business was being sent somewhere. Anything associated to Finley Termite and Pest Control was being sent to her boyfriend's house so she could try to get escrow checks. I could show you that. But when Steve called me in, I believe, 2014, November, he never told me it was about money. He never told me. So he just told me it was about 8 missing hours.
It appears relating to the cost recovery for both the accusation in 2011, the 2014 accusation and petition to revoke probation, there's a combined cost recovery, if my math is correct, of $5,267.50. That is, has never been paid. If your license were reinstated, would you be able to pay that cost
Okay.
either initially or through a payment?
I have no other paperwork from you guys, but where's the other $2,500?
Right. There's the $2,500 from the initial,
Yes.
and then there is the $2,700 and a little more related to the default decision case.
So these numbers that you sent me from Travis are based on the second accusation.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I could pay you half of it within a month, and then I could figure out the rest of it.
Okay. Since your license was revoked, have you taken any courses, training, or continuing education to keep yourself knowledgeable regarding new advances in the structural pest control field?
Yeah, I have. Just this year, because I was preparing actually for this. Last month, I took a class from I still have to submit more hours, but Dr. K-A-E,
Right.
that's who I go through. But I have started doing that Civilization 101.
And that's in an effort to keep yourself knowledgeable and with the hopes of using that knowledge should you be reinstated.
Honestly, it was so you guys maybe be easier on me if I had more. Right? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. 5 months ago, I never thought I could ever get my license back.
So
Like,
you took some classes to show the board that you were serious.
yeah, I was actually hoping you guys would send me a letter and it'd say pay $2,500, dude, and hopefully you got some education or retake the test, and that's what I was gonna do. That's honest.
Let me ask you this: would you be willing, if the board were to decide to grant your petition for reinstatement, to take the current examination for a field representative license and pass that exam as a condition before returning to the practice of structural pest control?
Yeah, I have no problem with the test. My thing is that do I have to take both tests, or can I just take half of one and half of the other? Because it's hard for me to get to, like, I'm 6 hours away from here. So to go down there and would I do it? Yes, I'd do it. But I have 2 licenses, and I would love to at least, I would at least love to keep my hours. Because if you look, I did submit the hours. I did have them completed. I did everything that you guys said.
I'm just
Not
talking
being late.
about really right.
Yes,
The time since 2014 where, because of the default decision, your license was revoked.
I would do anything it took.
Okay, so you would take the exam.
I'd have to, right? Like I would do.
Uh-huh.
I would do absolutely anything you guys told me to do.
All right. And you're not on. I probably should have asked this question a little bit earlier. Are there any current criminal charges pending against you in
None.
the state?
None.
So the issue when you get pulled over, I guess it was last week, you mentioned while you were testifying, that was just resolved with the payment.
Last week, that was a year ago. It was a bad check.
Oh, bad.
My license to the DMV is 100% good. I borrowed the money a year and a half ago, paid all the fines on it, and it was good.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, effectively, your difficulties relating to obviously the licensing board here and your company were related to your relationship struggles during that time.
Yeah, but it was also because I didn't see it. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you there wasn't signs. And I'm not gonna tell you that I haven't done stupid stuff with her lately. You know what I mean? Like how I keep letting her borrow even $60 or $80 is stupid. But I have done it. She's the mother of my children. We haven't been together in 6 years, but I could. If you read through those court documents, I could almost bet you that you would come to the conclusion that she was stealing money, and she was not stealing money. Let's say a different word, because she owned the company, but she was doing things nobody knew about.
All right. So, is there any other information that you would like to provide to the board to support your request for your license to be reinstated and to ensure them that if they were to do so, that you would be compliant with all relevant laws.
I just honestly, I'll do whatever it takes to get my license back. But the $5,000, I've never even seen the other $2,700. I've never even. I thought when you sent me this. No, see, what I don't understand is that all this money says 224.14, right? And I entered into the agreement in July of 2014 for $2,500.
Right. We're
So I don't understand where the other, see, everything right here and all this money says. See, I thought you were showing me that it was $2,700, and you guys gave me a hookup at $2,500. And now you're saying it's combined, which I don't get, because this is 5 months prior to me entering the deal that says right here that I can't use the 20 hours that I received. It says I cannot use the.
Okay, I think I could probably explain that quickly for you. There were two separate disciplinary actions, and the first one occurred in 2011, and that one really had to do, again, with the continuing education hours, and you were put on probation at that point, and that's where you entered.
That's the $2,500.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
There you stipulated to the $2,500 in cost recovery. Subsequently, in 2014, there was an accusation, and it was combined with what we call a petition to revoke probation.
Gotcha.
It was served at your address of record, which under the law is what the proper service, and you never responded. And as such, a default decision is, in effect, a decision revoking your license due to you not responding. That issued against your license, and that is actually the action that revoked your license. And as part of that, there was a cost recovery submitted of the $2,700 from Mr. Perry, Deputy Attorney General, related to that second accusation. So, in adding those two together is
Okay. No, I've never seen this piece of paper in my whole life, so I had no clue. So, yeah, I would figure out how to do it.
okay. Those are the questions that I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. McDonough. I'll now allow board members to ask questions they may have, starting with Mr. Duran.
I have no questions at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Samayo.
No, I don't have any questions.
Mr. Van Steenwyk. Mr. Good.
Yes, to be clear, Mr. Finley, your stipulated settlement was in August of 2012, correct? And that was for that prior area of continuing education that you were trying to provide.
Correct.
But you kept referencing that you provided those certs, the certifications for your continuing education hours?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The documentation we have is those weren't received until July of 2013 to the board. So it's after you settled everything else. So that's why everything moved forward. So your completions of your certificates were a year later.
Right. And that might be because I thought that I emailed them all, but that might have been the missing 8. And then when I found out about it, I might have. To be honest with you, I don't know, but I know they were done. And I know the month before I had 20 something. If you see right there, I had 20 other ones that they would not allow me to use. So I did think that they were all sent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you have a lot of moving parts. I get it here.
Yeah.
It's quite a book here. Yeah. Thank you.
Ms. Brand.
No, I have no questions now.
All right. Any further questions by the Deputy Attorney General?
I don't. I would just wish Mr. Finley the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you, everyone.
testimony then. And I just want to make sure there are no other witnesses on your behalf or documents. All right, thank you so much. Then that concludes the petition hearing in this matter. The record is closed. The case is submitted for decision. We're off the record in this matter. And then I believe we will be going into closed session. So the closed session will take place pursuant to subdivision C3 of section 11126 of the Government Code. The board will meet in the closed section to consider reinstatements, proposed disciplinary actions, and stipulated settlements. So please clear the room if you're not one of the essential persons to that closed session. Thank you.
I just want to say, Your Honor.
Not for the rest of the day, no.
For the rest of it, so I'm okay to put a recess graphic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, until tomorrow morning at 9.
At 9 a.m.
8:30. What, this is here at 9.